Greetings and welcome to another edition of Black Talk Radio, where black media matters and black life certainly matters. Today is Sunday, June 3rd, 2018. Well, today's video is about mulattoes and biracials, where some people will refer to them as mixed race, but I'm not going to go into that. I'll let Dr. Umar speak on that. Nonetheless, I got this information from the video I saw from Dr. Umar yesterday, where he covers Drake doing blackface. You guys have by now seen the image where Pusha T exposed Drake in a number of things. But nonetheless, Dr. Umar covered the issue of mulattoes quite well, and I want to share that with you. And without further ado, I'm going to let Dr. Umar take it away.
You will not be disrespected in this video. This video is not about disrespecting you. To all my biracial African brothers and sisters out there, to all my so-called mixed-race Africans, those of you who have European or other non-African parents, you will not be disrespected in the next 45-minute seminar. I didn't come here to disrespect you, but to challenge you. And also to make you understand that you are a member of the global African family. But you can use that privilege and you can lose that right by not identifying with your race. It's an open conversation on the politics of biracial Africans, because we are living in a time when America right now has an agenda to biracialize the entire black America. America right now has an agenda to biracialize the entire black America. They want everyone to look like Steph Curry. They want everyone to look like Mariah Carey. They want everyone to look like Klay Thompson. No disrespect to any of them. No disrespect to any of them. I'm dealing with the politics. Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. Why would a minority group want to increase the size of the majority group? Why would a minority group, white people, want to increase the numerical size of the people who already outnumber everyone else in the world, Africans? Why would they want to do that? Well, first of all, we have to look at the philosophy of white supremacy. We have to look at the classical foundations of white supremacy. And when you look at the classical foundations of white supremacy, they have always bred black people for their own purposes. Can I get an ashe? If you following me right now, give me a black fist. If you following me, if you understand where I'm going, give me a black fist. White people have always bred black people for their own purposes. Why are we surprised? This is nothing new. They have always bred black people for their own purposes. Even before slavery, when you study the Crusades, the Christian Crusades, the Islamic Jihad into Africa, when you study Alexander the Great, when you study Napoleon Bonaparte, you will find that they had soldiers in those armies who were responsible for the conquest of African peoples, Africans in the Caribbean, Africans in Africa, Australia, Central South Pacific, Central and South America. They had white soldiers whose job was to impregnate the black women. The white soldiers' job was to impregnate the black women, not because they wanted more black people. Genetics is the extermination of Africans. They didn't want more black people, but they needed more soldiers. They needed a numerical majority. And what do you do when you don't have a numerical majority and the women of your community have a problem holding, and keeping babies? You do what? You reproduce with the oppressed woman. You take the black woman and you inject your evil serum into her. She produces a biologically African child, but not an unapologetically African child. I said the black woman pregnant with the white man's seed will create a biologically African child, but not a psychological African child. So what you have is a baby who has the DNA of the mother, the dominant African DNA, but he has the psychological mind and conditioning and loyalty to the father. And loyalty to the father. And loyalty to the father. That's what's going on in America now. Let's create a virus amongst black people. that will mutate and kill itself. Listen to me. They said we're going to create a cancer, a certain type of a people with a certain type of a mentality who will be able to destroy black people without white folks even being around. So they deliberately create the mixed race African as a weapon against the rest of us. They deliberately create the mixed race African as a weapon against the rest of us.
Oh, it's just getting good. We're getting ready to switch gears to a very important message I watched from the Radical Sisters channel. It was a video that she had taken from the Irritated Genie, where he speaks about mulattoes, and this backs up what Dr. Umar Johnson just spoke about. Let's go to that.
That I know that I should give you to help you, I'm going to give you. So I'm not talking about Barack Obama now. I was talking about him here, and they're dangerous. And we have to prepare to deal with them, but we have to do it wisely. And the first step, I realized, I got to make people aware of the danger of them, who they are, how they operate. What is the mulatto class all about? Let me make this clear. We're going to go look at a short clip from a movie called Rabbit Proof Fence. This is going to be very important for our brothers and sisters, because I want you to understand, the mulatto class is made as a step in the direction of the genocide of African people. Let me say it again. As Dr. Chancellor Williams said, first, the whites came in and mixed. We allowed them to mix and create these mixed babies. Missing and not understanding the interests of whites. Their objective is to kill us. Then they use those white babies, or those mulatto babies, to wage war against us. And then ultimately, they use them to now marry back on into whiteness and totally eliminate the black groups altogether. This has been history. Let's go to Australia, where they had a process of doing this that was actually a formal process, as they had exterminated and killed most of the brothers and sisters in Australia, the original African inhabitants, and now they were in the process of killing the last ones of them, and they had an actual process that was government sponsored called interbreeding us out of existence, saying we don't want to kill them anymore. It's not enough of them to fight back, so we don't have to physically kill them. We'll just exterminate them through incorporating them into our racial structure. But the white male here, this is actually a document. It's a movie about the reality of what was done in Australia, and here's the white telling the story of how they did it.
As you know, every Aborigine born in this state comes under my control. Notice, if you will, the half-caste child. And there are ever-increasing numbers of them. Now, what is to happen to them? Are we to allow the creation of an unwanted third race? Should the coloreds be encouraged to go back to the black? Or should they be advanced to white status and be absorbed in the white population? Now, time and again, I am asked by some white men, if I marry this colored person, will our children be black? And as Chief Protector of Aborigines, it is my responsibility to accept or reject those marriages. Here is the answer. 3 generations. Half-blood grandmother, quadroon daughter, octoroon grandson. Now, as you can see, in the 3rd generation, or 3rd cross, no trace of native origin is apparent. The continuing infiltration of white blood finally stamps out the black color. The Aboriginal has simply been bred out.
Okay, right here is where this man starts to describe their caste system. Now, understand their caste system is where they are granting these half-breeds or mixed-race children, they're granting them extra privileges and what we call white privilege. That's basically what it amounts to. But listen to how he describes it, and then this is going to end here.
Aboriginal has simply been bred out. Now, we come to the Moore River Native Settlement. Ladies, most of you are familiar with our work here. The training of domestic servants and farm laborers. I would like to thank you for your continuing support. Hundreds of half-caste children have been gathered up and brought here to be given the benefit of everything our culture has to offer. For if we are to fit and train such children for the future, they cannot be left as they are. And in spite of himself, the native must be helped.
We will grant no such exemption. I need my mixed race Africans to hear me. I need my mixed race African brothers and sisters to hear me, because I claim it. If you claim me, I claim you. It's that simple. I don't judge you no differently than I judge any other African. I don't judge you any differently than I judge any other African. It's a two-pronged question for me to vibe with you. Number one, are you biologically black? And number two, are you psychologically black? Do you identify with your race? And if there's any mixed race African out there who says, yes, I know I got a white mother. Yes, I know I got a white father. I love them. I respect them. But that's my personal business. That's my personal business. When it comes to the politics of liberation, I will stand shoulder to shoulder with Dr. Umar Johnson. If that's you, I have no problem with you. One of the greatest Pan-Africanists who ever lived. Two of the greatest Pan-Africanists who ever lived. Bishop Henry McNeil Turner. Bishop Henry McNeil Turner, the first black chaplain in the U.S. Army. One of the first blacks elected to public office during Reconstruction. The black man who called the United States flag a filthy rag. The black man who said God was black. The first man to say God was black was of mixed race. So I don't have no problem with you having a white mom, white dad, because you're not responsible for how you get here. But I need biracial Africans to understand that you are obligated to live the same code as all other Pan-Africanists. And that code is, you do not date white, you do not lay white, you do not sleep white, you do not impregnate or be impregnated by white, you will marry black. You are obligated to the same code. And the fact that your mother is white or your father is white does not exempt you from being totally 100% committed to the freedom struggle. In other words, you have to develop the courage and the commitment. Mixed race Africans have to develop the courage and the commitment to tell mommy and daddy, I love you, but you are white. And because you are not a member of the African family, you cannot come to this meeting. Because you are not a member of the African family, you cannot participate in this struggle. Because you are not a member of the African family, I love you, but my love for you is personal. African liberation is political. And I cannot betray my people by letting you in, mommy and daddy, because although you love me, mommy and daddy, although you love me, there is no proof that you love all black people. Although you love me, white mom, white daddy, there's no proof that you love all black people. And because of that, I cannot risk the liberation struggle of my people because of my personal, petty emotions about my mother and father. And that's facts.
So I'm going to end this video off reading something that is in the book that I'm reading by Edward Wilmot Blyden. He, again, is the Pan-Africanist who, from 1832 to 1912, fought for the advancement of black African people. But nonetheless, here's what he has to say about mulattoes. Edward Blyden, a pure Negro, Blyden showed open and unrelenting detestation for mulattoes both in Liberia and the United States. He claimed that they used their privileged positions stemming from blood affinity with the ruling white race to exploit the Negro masses, whom they scorned, and far from working for the advancement of Africa and the Negro race, they hindered such advancement. Now, I thought that was very interesting in the fact that I just started reading the book and I come across that information in the preface of the book. I haven't even started getting into the first chapter, and right away Edward Blyden, or Blyden that is already speaking on it. So I just thought that was telling. That was the spirit telling me that I need to do a video about it, and that's where this video comes from. I really hope you liked it. Please give it a thumbs up, share it, like it. Let's talk about it. Thanks for watching. This is Guru at Black Talk Radio, where black media matters. Peace out.